We're judged on the way we speak, on what we say, the words we say, and the language we use. Think back over the past 20 or so years, every president that has ever taken office, every speech he's made, every word he's said, every public announcement. His words and his speech has been picked apart word by comedian, by news anchor. The same thing applies as Christians. Have you ever heard someone talk and think, wow, they must be a sailor? How we speak reflects not only who we are, personally and professionally, but also reflects who lives inside of us. If we are filled with God's Spirit, the way we speak should reflect that. When Peter denied Jesus the third time, they said to him, "We recognize you by the way you speak." And then he denied Christ and began cursing. Be careful what you speak. If when Peter denied Christ, he began cursing, in Mark 14:71, would it not mean that if us as Christians use that kind of language, that we also are denying Christ by the way we speak? Jesus said in Matthew 10:32 and 33, "Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven." What you say is what you're judged on. Don't run around speaking foolishly, spreading lies, gossiping, and cursing. This type of language tells those around you that you are not a Christian. It denies Jesus and his work in your life. The Bible tells us on our words we will be judged. Matthew 12:36 and 37. "But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." One day, one of my daughters, 10 or 11 years old, picked up a new word at school and was using it quite freely. Now, the word wasn't a curse word per se, but more of a slang term a young lady should not be saying. I asked her if she knew what it meant. She did not. I then went on to explain what it meant, and she was quite embarrassed. I then went on to explain to her we should not be using words we don't know the meaning of. We must be so careful what we say, exercising self-control, not allowing ourselves to speak out of anger or bitterness, but in allowing ourselves to be a vessel for God to speak through. When we talk the way Jesus wants us to, people notice. They will begin to ask questions. They'll ask, "What's different about you?" And opportunities will arise to witness to those around you if you just watch the way you talk. James 3:10 tells us, "Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so be." We must be so careful to watch what we say. Remember, Jesus loves you, and we do too. God bless.